With a large cast of characters, it's hard to give everyone the same amount of attention. Miraculous Ladybug will occasionally dedicate episodes to supporting characters, revealing more about their backstories and upbringings to the audience. Such is the case for El Toro de Piedra, the most recent episode of the 6th season, which only dives into the home life of Ivan Bruel, but also insinuates that a secret organization has worked behind the scenes and pulled the strings of every encounter between the heroes and the wielders of the Butterfly Miraculous so far. It's a lore-heavy episode, and a single decision made in the post-credit scene might shake up the narrative forever. With so much on the line and tons to unpack, let's recap El Toro de Piedra in today's video. The episode opens with a brand new character who is not only burly but also covered in notable scars. He talks about seizing his new chance, where the following day he and his son, the person he is speaking to throughout the scene, will work together to steal the Mona Lisa from the Louvre, as the real painting is currently being worked on and will be put back on display upon his release. He assures his son that the theft is safe, and they will follow through with the heist without getting caught. According to his plan, his son will dress in his former supervillain attire, which he will hide in the bathroom, and will race through the museum to distract the guards. While the museum is on lockdown, the father will break through the gates using his notable strength to steal the painting. Their meeting over, the father leaves the room, allowing the camera to finally pan to the son, who the audience will recognize as Ivan, a friend of Marinette's and wielder of the Ox Miraculous. Ivan not only looks dejected after the meeting, but it's clear he's sitting in a form of prison or jail, as his father is a notorious thief known as El Toro. We later learn that his name is Raul. After the intro, we find the members of Kitty Section in Adrian's former bedroom, which he has renovated to serve as the band's practice space and studio. The group has planned a concert to honor Mayor Bustier, who not only taught them in their homeroom the year prior, but has also transformed Paris into an environmentally friendly city with reduced crime rates. Marinette manages the band, telling them they need to find time to practice the song Julika wrote, while Ivan plays the drums absent-mindedly in the background. Rose attempts to set up a projector, but when a chord doesn't work, she sends Marinette to ask Adrian for another. We discover that Adrian has turned the upstairs of the band's studio into his new bedroom. As of this episode, it's still undergoing renovations, with only a bed on the floor and boxes scattered throughout. When Marinette enters to ask Adrian for a new chord, she notices that some of the boxes are labeled with numbers. Adrian explains that the boxes represent the corresponding years of his life, so naturally, Marinette begs to go through them. While Adrian doesn't think she'll find anything interesting, he agrees, allowing her to uncover onesies from his earliest childhood, drawings he made for his parents, and a stuffed animal that has a recording of Gabriel's voice. The recording included a joke that once made Adrian laugh. Marinette apologizes for opening the boxes, but Adrian admits that he enjoys revisiting old memories and recalling what his relationship with his father was like when he was young. They also find a photo album, but before Adrian can look through it, Rose asks for help with the projector. Adrian leaves Marinette with the photo album, only for her and Tiki to discover a letter hidden by Gabriel before his death. Adrian nearly catches her with the letter, but she makes up an excuse to keep it hidden. Not knowing the contents of the letter, Marinette decides to show it to Nathalie first. Unfortunately, the members of Kitty Section intercept Marinette on her way to Nathalie. Adrian managed to fix the projector, which they used to connect with Luca through a call. According to him, he has moved to Brazil full-time. Luca may be ready to leave his life in Paris behind and focus solely on his training with Suhan. He may also act as Viperian in Brazil, but that isn't confirmed in this episode. Luca's absence may also set up for the upcoming special, Miraculous World Brazil. Meanwhile, Nathalie sits in a dimly lit office where she has a meeting with a faceless character. The character has a voice we don't recognize, but he prompts Nathalie to be on time for an undisclosed appointment. Otherwise, she won't receive another chance. She promises she will make it to the appointment and slaps her laptop closed when Marinette opens the door. She tries to send Marinette on her way, but changes her tune when she sees Gabriel's letter. Kitty Section continues with practice while Marinette is away, but Luca's connection keeps cutting out. Luca questions his place in the band and suggests they find a replacement, but his bandmates insist it wouldn't be the same without him. Luca disagrees, stating it wouldn't be sad as they claim, but different. Again, there's a heavy emphasis that he's pulling away from his life in Paris, perhaps to pursue something different. When Marinette and Nathalie open Gabriel's letter, they discover that he intended to come clean about everything. He tells Adrian about his crimes as monarch, his plan to revive Emily, and why she used the Peacock Miraculous. He also encouraged Adrian to continue his plans to steal the Ladybug and Cat Miraculouses, and use their power to revive his parents. In the letter, he implied that Nathalie would assist Adrian in achieving this goal, which is strange as she opposed him before his death. Due to the contents of the letter, it's unclear when Gabriel wrote it or placed it within the photo album, but he fully intended for Adrian to know the truth. There is more to the letter that we, as the viewers, don't have the chance to hear, as the episode cuts back to Kitty section as Ivan drops his drumsticks. He has spent the entire episode thus far pounding away at his instrument, becoming increasingly distressed. When his bandmates ask if he's okay, he leaves, stating he'll meet them at the concert. He leaves Adrian's home, passing by a faceless person, potentially a new enemy, on a park bench. With Ivan gone, the rest of Kitty section have no choice but to pack their equipment and head to the school, where they're having the concert in Mayor Boustier's honor. Julika reviews the lyrics for her song one last time, but Rose reassures her, promising that it's a great song and everything will be fine. Adrian comes to find Marinette, who has relocated to Gabriel's former office with Nathalie. He interrupts their conversation as they disagree about the letter. Nathalie thinks they should destroy it, while Marinette questions if erasing Adrian's past is the right thing to do. Marinette ultimately keeps the letter but lies to Adrian, claiming it's for someone else. While Marinette and her friends head to the school, Ivan takes a detour to the Louvre, where he finds his father's old El Toro costume. He takes the costume from its hiding spot and leaves a heartfelt letter in its place, which his father finds when Ivan doesn't show up to pull off the heist. Ivan begs his father to abandon his life of crime and seize his new chance in life, because all Ivan wants more than anything is for his dad to be a part of his life. It's a very moving sentiment, made all the more emotional as we're shown Ivan sitting beside the Seine with his knees to his chest, desperate for his father's cooperation. Unfortunately, old habits are hard to break, and Raoul reacts poorly to the letter. He believes Ivan is weak for turning against him and becomes enraged, allowing an akumatization to occur. With Lila's help, he becomes El Toro de Piedra, the Stone Bull, a powerful villain with the ability to turn innocent civilians into rampaging bulls. He destroys the Louvre and races off in search of his son. As the sun sets over Paris, a crowd gathers in the school's courtyard as Mayor Boustier's former class delivers a speech, emphasizing the essential life lessons she taught them the previous year. She receives a round of applause from the crowd, which brings tears to her eyes. The night is off to a great start, but Ivan refuses to answer Milin's calls. The episode cuts back to him beside the Seine, and as he ignores his partner again, it's clear he intends to abandon the concert altogether. It's hard to blame him because not a moment later, his akumatized father comes barreling down the street, demanding that his son face him. Initially, Ivan tries to run, but in a moment of bravery, he pauses in the street and turns toward his father. El Toro claims that Ivan is weak because his grandmother raised him, and that he has the power to turn Ivan into a real bull with a heart of stone. Undisturbed, Ivan questions if his father has read his letter, and only runs when his father attacks him in response. Ivan escapes into the sewers, where he uses the Ox Miraculous to summon Ladybug. Marinette introduces Kitty section and attempts to start the concert, but Luca's connection cuts out in the nick of time. With luck on her side, Marinette uses the excuse as a way to prolong the concert and offers to look for Ivan. She knows he must be in trouble and rushes to his aid as Ladybug. When she finds him in the sewer, he renounces his Miraculous and claims he doesn't deserve to be a hero. He explains that his father is a supervillain and was once a notorious criminal, long before akumatizations. Ladybug refuses to accept his retirement from the team. She reminds Ivan that he's not responsible for his father's actions. And despite how he might feel or believe, he's already proved that he's capable of being a fantastic hero. She returns his Miraculous and recruits his help in stopping El Toro from rampaging throughout Paris. Motivated by Ladybug's wisdom, Ivan takes back his Miraculous, and we see Minotaurox's new transformation sequence for the first time. Back with Kitty section, Luca calls Julika because he can't fix his connection. Without Luca and Ivan there to complete the band, Julika suggests that she and Rose perform an acoustic version of the song. However, Rose refuses, stating she knows how to scream like their usual songs require, but she's not a proper singer. Luca encourages Julika to perform solo, and Rose further inspires her with a kiss. The kiss is a significant moment in Miraculous Ladybug, as fans have waited for confirmation of the pair's relationship since the series' premiere a decade prior. Julika rushes to the stage despite her nerves and sings before her largest audience yet. It's a significant moment for her character as she has always struggled with self-confidence. The message of her song is also important, as despite writing it for Mayor Bustier, it's also about her wounded relationship with her parents and how it's impacted them. One of Julica's greatest fears is facing her father's rejection, so it's clear that she's processing her emotions and emerging on the other side more self-assured. More importantly, her character arc parallels Ivan's nicely, as he also fears his father's rejection but must stand against him. The episode drives home these parallels by playing Julica's song over a montage of El Toro's fight with the heroes. Ladybug summons Cat Noir to aid her and Minotaurox, rounding out their team and putting them on an even playing field. It also allows for a third connection to be made, as Adrian also has a complicated relationship with his late father. It doesn't take long for the three heroes to overpower El Toro, with Minotaurox protecting his allies and destroying El Toro's weapon with his hammer, releasing the Akuma. Minotaurox attempts to give Raul his son's letter, claiming there might be something he needs to learn within it. Raul refuses the letter and is swarmed by law enforcement. Ladybug steps in and says that Raul hasn't done anything to violate the New Chances program, and that the destruction he caused was only due to an akumatization. When prompted, Raul admits that he thought about stealing, but he ultimately takes Ivan's letter and dedicates himself to becoming a better father. Unfortunately, only time will tell if he follows through with this decision. Later, Ivan apologizes to his bandmates for disappearing on the day of the concert. He explains that it's hard for him to talk about his family because his friends have such good role models as parents, but he promises to tell them everything when he's ready. Milin praises him for talking it out and allowing others to be there for him. Adrian retires to his room where Marinette approaches to give him the letter. However, Adrian questions how his father had changed so much within a few years, becoming cold and distant in the months leading up to his death. Marinette tucks the letter into her shirt and hugs Adrian instead, deciding to keep Monarch's identity a secret. El Toro de Piedra includes a peculiar after-credits scene unlike any we've seen before. It takes place during the meeting Nathalie heard about at the beginning of the episode, the one she couldn't miss without facing repercussions. Nathalie stands in a large chamber surrounded by screens on all sides. Each screen has a symbol which represents a member within the meeting. Nathalie is the other member physically present, while the others hide behind these screens and their corresponding symbols. One of the members, the same one from Nathalie's previous meeting, informs the group that Ladybug lied to the world when she said that Gabriel Agreste died defeating Monarch. The entire group knows that Gabriel was Monarch, and they want an explanation from Nathalie. They refer to Gabriel as the Diamond, one of the symbols on the screen, indicating that he was once a member of this secret society. Nathalie claims that she was unconscious and only knows that Gabriel's wish saved her life. She puts another member of their society on the spot, claiming that the machine might know more. When the machine speaks, we discover it's Tomoe Tsurugi, a close friend and confidant of Gabriel's. She states that the reasons for Ladybug's lies are unimportant, so long as the Perfect World project is a success. She also believes they should continue with the Diamond's plans and have his former shadow follow her instead. The rest of the society agrees, forcing Nathalie to swear her allegiance to Tomoe, who wants nothing more than to obtain Ladybug and Cat Noir's Miraculouses. After the meeting adjourns, all of the society members log off, leaving Nathalie alone in the room with a single member still on call. As it turns out, the member is her father, who also wants the Miraculouses for himself. He expects Nathalie to betray everyone in service of himself and his ultimate wish. After losing Gabriel at the end of the last season, fans knew that Miraculous Ladybug would change forever. Not only were the heroes more experienced and unlocking new abilities, but they had encountered new enemies more dangerous than the last. What we couldn't anticipate is that these enemies were always working together, and that there might have been a greater goal in mind that transcended Gabriel's motives. Now that we know Marinette's not the only one keeping secrets, the story will only get more interesting, as it's impossible to know who Ladybug and Cat Noir can trust. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications to stay updated on our uploads.